Hi everyone, my name is Alex, and apart from being a project manager, I'm actually a dual version solution ambassador in PortaOne. What does this mean? I'm the first point of contact regarding any dual version migration questions inside the company. So now, let me give you a sneak peek of what we are going to discuss today. Why should you consider dual version migration at all? How is it better than a good old traditional update? How does a dual version customer look like based on our customers from United States and Canada? We will also touch recent PortaOne Dual Version improvements, both technical and content related. Finally, how to get started. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's imagine that you are running PortaSwitch version MR85 right now, and you are seeking a new feature PortaOne just added in MR100. So in the past, you had to conduct 3 sequential updates to reach MR100. That's 3 or even more months for each update for both teams in terms of preparation and planning efforts. This means preparation and planning phase that lasts around a year with at least 3 planned downtimes during every update. Another point to keep in mind, roll back if something went wrong, and what's more important, roll back the whole database, all your customers, so another downtime. I guess you would agree with me that in the long run, with a regular updates approach, it might take you years to finally get your hands on the feature your business is waiting for. To make a long story short, dual version is a way out to those of you who are stuck for some reason on an outdated PortaSwitch version. Main goal of our dual version solution is to provide a quick and painless rollout of new PortaSwitch software versions. And quick means that you need only a single jump to update from, let's say, MR85 to MR100. Now, if we update the whole system at once, there is high chance that some customers may face issues caused by incompatibility or misconfiguration. So in case of a dual version, painless rollout is achieved by a gradual migration. So if there is an issue, it affects only a limited number of your customers in a batch, and those customers can be quickly rolled back to the previous release. Moreover, you can start selling new products with new features from the target system right away without even waiting until the migration is finished. Now, let's talk about how does a dual version customer look like based on our customer from United States. This customer started using the PortaOne Dual Version solution from MR85, and they already passed 2 successful dual version migrations. They have only 2 billing environments, and from service perspective, it's a trunking with representative business model. Slightly more than 1,000 customers, 3 times higher amount of accounts, and more than 200 millions of XDRs that had to be migrated. What's unique about them is that they are successfully utilizing the PortaOne site redundancy solution. You may wonder, why then they decided to use dual version migration instead of the PortaOne zero downtime update approach? Because having a secondary site allows zero downtime update. Well, first of all, their system fully satisfies redundancy and high availability principles now. And by the way, we have 2 great videos on our official YouTube channel about what redundancy and high availability are about. Another reason is the ability to jump across more than 5 releases and do it in a controlled way using customer batches. These are the main justifications for such a system setup. Making long story short, it took us 1 calendar month to migrate all their customers in relatively small batches PortaOne was provided with by our customer. Now they are running MR85, and we already started with the preparations for their 3rd dual version migration to MR100. Now our Canadian customer. They started using the PortaOne dual version solution from MR70, and they also already passed 2 successful dual version migrations. This is quite a big customer, and their peculiarity is the number of billing environments where almost every environment represents a separate business or a company. From service perspective, those environments are representing a mixture of different flows, including residential voice over IP, hosted PBX, and so on. Almost 500,000 of customers, almost the same number of accounts, and 42 millions of XDRs that had to be migrated. Considering the size of the customer and mainly number of environments, it took us around 2 calendar months for migration, which was a win from both PortaOne and customer perspective. We also migrated by batches, but this time every batch was a full billing environment. Now, this customer is running MR100, and preparations for the third dual version jump to MR110 just started. By the way, last time we were migrating 17 billing environments, while now we'll have to migrate 21 separate environments. Okay, so what about new features? Well, before MR100, it was allowed to do a dual version jump for 15 releases only. So MR70 to 85, MR85 to MR100. Starting from MR100, we allow you to choose any long-term supported or LTS release, as well as any build of that LTS release as a target for your dual version jump. It could be a gap of 5, 10, 15, or even more releases. The same applies for the source system as well. So you can jump from MR100-0, MR100-3, or wait until the last MR100-6 build. And you can now jump to MR105-0, MR110-3, or MR115-6. Also, PortaOne now offers dual version PortaSwitch migrations between on-premise installations and the cloud. And that's great news for any telco that wants to update their PortaSwitch without having to invest in a second set of physical servers. With dual version, you can smoothly move into the cloud and then back to your installation through a safe, gradual migration process. And there are more options and benefits too. You can expand into the cloud to increase your capacity beyond the limits of your physical servers, or even leave those physical servers behind altogether and reduce your capital expenditures. I won't stop here on all the benefits this brings to you, as there is a dedicated video on PortaOne YouTube channel where you can find all the answers, so I definitely recommend you to check it out. Also, turned out that vendor XDR synchronization is also a highly requested feature. Basically, now when you need to generate custom vendor statistic reports, you no longer have to launch it on source, then on target, and then combine the results. When porting is done, all vendor XDRs will be synchronized. And another recent improvement is an ability to migrate CDRs separately from customer or reseller entities. Use case here is very simple. There are customers with a huge number of accounts assigned, or resellers with a huge number of sub-customers and accounts as well. As you would imagine, the number of CDRs for such big entities will also be extremely high. Moreover, not everyone actually even needs those CDRs to be migrated between systems. So, in order to speed up the migration of a particular billing entity, it's possible now to migrate CDRs later on, or even skip them at all to save time. Okay, what about content-related changes? We do have them. First of all, we have 2 really great dual version related articles on our blog, and I strongly recommend you to check them. Also, we now have a dedicated page on our official website where you can find everything you need to know to make an informed decision whether dual version migration will fit your needs. On our official PortaOne YouTube channel, there is a dedicated playlist of 9 dual version related videos where you can find tons of useful information. Finally, we are slowly but steadily remastering our official dual version documentation, which is also publicly available on our website. So, feel excited about the PortaOne dual version solution? Contact us to show your customers that there is nothing scary in the software update procedure. And to get the ball rolling, you will need to start with a pre-migration analysis, aka PMA. If you wonder, what the hell is this PMA? The pre-migration analysis is required to ensure that the dual version migration will go smoothly for your particular system, release, and situation. So it's a mandatory step for any dual version migration project. And during this analysis, PortaOne team is checking a number of things, including external components your system is integrated with, and peculiarities in connecting those systems to PortaSwitch that need to be addressed, custom code or other modifications you might have on your PortaSwitch system, and how to replicate all of those modifications to ensure that the new version of PortaSwitch will function smoothly, custom reports you use, as they also might need to be adapted to work on a new PortaSwitch version, and many more. You can find all the details about pre-migration analysis on our official website, so feel free to check them out. That's about it. Oh, thank you.